And welcome back, MechWarriors. This is Obot10025 with the 4th episode of your first mech assaults. I did, lights, mediums, heavies, and assaults. This is the last part of it. I don't know if I'm going to do champion or hero, but check back later. Hopefully I'll be able to do it or not. Just all depends. So let's get first into, I'm going to do the inner sphere first. And I'm going to do 2 mechs and then a honorable mention, and then the clans, I'll be doing 2 mechs and then honorable mention for that as well. The clans don't have as much, but they do have some really good ones, so that's a bonus. And one of the good ones obviously be the Kodiak. Oh my god, that thing is a monster. But first let's go to the inner sphere. The Atlas is one of the most iconic mechs of BattleTech of all time, including the Timberwolf or Mad Cat from the inner sphere designation of what it is. So when you see these on the battlefield, you always think assault mech, and this is one of the biggest 100-ton mechs that they do have. It's beautiful, does a really nice damage, can take a S-load of damage too, which is beautiful about this mech. So that's why I kind of picked actually the first mech, which would be the Atlas, and it's most recognizable as well too. And plus, it's pretty easy to run. You take a lot of damage, you dish out a lot of damage, and that's about it. That's about like really. So let's go with the first one, with the D. Now the D normally has an AC 20, which is really nice. It does obviously 20 points of damage. It does have energy velocity and cooldowns, which are not the best, only 5%, but it works out because it could do a lot of damage. Also, the greatest thing about the D, it does have a critical hit chance receiving negative 25%, which means these are all different quirks, which means that when you do take damage and you're open torso with no armor, you have a negative 25% chance of your ammo exploding and or anything else exploding on your mech, or engine actually being hit. Normally people put standard engines like in these, at least I do, because I know I'm going to be taking oodles amounts of damage, and so I got to make sure I survive the longest. If I have a XL engine, once it gets hit, I'm dead, and that's about it. All I gotta do is reduce down the torso and do a bunch of crits, and then obviously one of the crits will actually hit one of my engines, and then goodbye mech. Now also, the Atlas is one of the only mechs that actually does have ECM as far as assault mechs. So let's go. This is why you see these being played in a bunch of faction warfare games, because they do have like ECM to help out the inner sphere, especially a 100-ton mech. This is what this one is, the DDC. You always hear like a DDC when you go ahead and do these mechs like themselves. Hey, let's grab a DDC mech or something like that. So all the different missile, laser, ballistics are all around 10%. It's okay as far as quirk wise, but it can take a lot of damage. It does not have, as a D, it does not have the negative 25% critical hit chance, but the DDC does have ECM, which makes it a very nice mech. 3 missile, 2 energy, and 2 ballistic, which makes it pretty good because you actually can have 2 LM20s. I mean, literally, you can have 2 LM20s. I would say two AC-10s and then 2 large pulse lasers or 2 ER large lasers. Makes it a very nice mech. And then also the like command module as well too actually adds to it. So a lot of people don't actually take the command module because they don't really actually make it worthwhile for it, but you can still put it in there if you're looking for some tonnage. Let's go to the S here. Okay, so 1 ballistic, 4 energy, 2 missile, 1 AMS. The cooldowns and everything else, just like the DDC, are okay, but this has a little bit more energy hard points than it does for the DDC does. And that's kind of nice, but it does sacrifice the ECM for it as well too. So that's kind of sucky like in itself. The internal structure bonuses, you do get 31 more points into the center torso. Very nice. Same thing with this one here, 31. It's about the same, I believe. Yeah, 15. It's about the same. So has the same type of stuff, just does not, like the D, have the negative 25% hit chance, which helps out so much. And the torso twisting, which this one has as well, is a lot better. Actually, it's the same. Yeah, on pitch. 14, 40%. Yeah, it's the same. I'm sorry about that. So I was wrong on that. So then we go to the K, which has 1 ballistic, 4 energy, 1 missile. The K is mostly used for Gauss Rifle because it does only have 1 ballistic. A lot of people use it for Gauss Rifle, but the Gauss Rifle, unfortunately, is going to be in the bottom torso, not in the top. That's the only bad thing about that, because you really have to go above a hill about this much, which you're exposing all your upper half of your body, which kind of sucks. That's not a good thing to have. Not a good thing to go do as well too. And then you're looking at the other ones. the torso, the ballistic slots are lower than what normally, like say the Marauder has it on top there. Same with the DDC. You're looking at below, and then the D, same thing in the lower torso, which kind of sucks. But what can you do? That's basically how they go and develop it. I mean, personally, I would have it on the top one, so I could just peek over the hill. But that's just me, though. So let's go over the K again. Gauss Rifle cooldown 15%, not bad. It does help. I think the Gauss Rifle's 4 seconds, I believe. Let's go check here. Let's go see here. The Gauss Rifle is 5 seconds, so it brings a little bit down. Then if you put a module slot on there too, would actually help out too. And then it does have ballistic cooldown of 10% and then 15%. So that's not bad. So 25, and then you pop a module slot, so it'll be 35% lower cooldown for the stuff that you have there. And then also has a negative 25% crit hit chance receiving. So that's good as well too. Let's see here. This is the champion mech. This is the same as this one here, but you get XP bonuses. So just let you know about that. Now this one's pretty cool. I do like the boar's head. That's what's called a boar's head. It's just interesting because it has a lot of cool little paint job here. Boar to death. That's kind of cool. That's and then pig, you know, that kind of thing. But it is kind of nice. I kind of like it. A lot of people use it with black and then a white trim basically for all the different like symbols and everything. Looks pretty nice. I kind of like that. And then the mech itself is halfway decent. 1-6-1 ballistic energy 6, missile 1, AMS 1. You will see a lot more AMS on the assault mech, so just let you know about that because they have so much tonnage. They just have to put something on there. The range, the ballistic velocity is 20%, which is really nice. So there's through AC-10 cannon, or if you change it out to an AC-20, goes 10% faster than what it normally is. And also the critical hit chance receiving is negative 10% instead of 25, which is kind of weird though, because you are actually purchasing this mech with real money. Instead, you get the negative 25% here, which is kind of bizarre, but I don't know why PGI did that, but that's okay with me, I guess. But you get the cool paint job. That's what you got to look nice while you're killing things, right? So, ballistic velocity, crit hits, 40%, 45, acceleration, 45, deceleration, turn rate, 30%. Then torso is the same as everything else. Yaw pitch is 40%, which is really nice. So, you get actually torso twist to mitigate the damage, which is beautiful. And also, you get a CB bonus of 30%. A lot of time, and then if you have premium, it adds it even more. So, that's a good thing, too. When you want to get C-bills, that's how you do it. So, let's go to the S here. Excuse me. The S, let's see here, okay. 1 ballistic, 4 energy, 4 missiles. So you're going to see a lot of this one with the SRM6s. You could pop those in there. Missile velocity, cooldown, and heat generation. 5%, not the best. But you can just take what you can, I guess. I think that's what it is. More of a brawler mech than anything else. I mean, you could have LRMs on this thing, but it's really not worth it because you really want to get in and close because these things can soak up a lot more damage for your team. And then your other team, who are normal LRM boats like mediums and heavies, can just unload everything on the mechs while you're actually engaging them themselves. Structure is a little bit different than the other mechs. Turn rate is also different. Acceleration, deceleration, and the ballistic velocity is kind of nice. So normally you have like an AC-20 Gauss rifle or something like that. The new thing for everyone to know is two Gauss rifles, a PPC, or you can even 2 PPCs and a Gauss rifle. That's the new thing that everyone's doing as far as the meta mechs. Missile heat generation, -5. Well, like I said, the 5%, yeah, it's okay, I guess. So, okay, so those are the Atlas is the most iconic mech there is for BattleTech, just like the Timberwolf or the Mad Cat for the Intersphere name for it. I think Mad Cat's a lot better though, but that's just me. But those are the only bad points. The good things is it could actually soak up a lot of damage. The bad things is it does have the ballistic slots lower than in the normal torsos, like a lot of other mechs do. So that's the bad thing about it. But I mean, literally, and the good thing is some do have negative 25%. Cool, crit chance receiving. Some don't, which is kind of weird. This has 10, which you're paying money for. I would actually say they, just like those are the bad points. And the good points is it can soak up a lot of damage and do a lot of damage. And also the one mech that has ECM for assault mech as well too. So let's go to the other mechs. The other mech is the King Crab. The next mech on the list for the Sphere is actually the King Crab, one of the, not as iconic as the Atlas or iconic as the Timberwolf, but still it's in the class of, hey, oh my god, here comes the King Crab. I fought these things and I do have some King Crabs themselves, so I know firsthand knowledge that these mechs are tough to kill, and they dish out a lot of damage. I've seen some pretty good builds for these things, and I'll try to go over just a couple of them. So I'm going to go over the good and bad points of them. So let's go with the good points. Obviously, it's a 100-ton mech. The arms do get plus 17 more hit points of damage, which is nice because it does need it, because all the ballistic points are actually inside the arms, which is a good thing, which is a bad thing. So it just all depends. This one has 2 AC 20s. 40 points of damage, you get in close, this thing is going to rock your world. That's a cool thing about it. Then also the large laser is on a top torso mount. So actually you can actually go right above the hill, peak, and then hit him with a large laser, ERPPC, large pulse laser. I see more large pulse lasers than like anything else, because actually the duration for the laser itself is actually brought down a little bit. Instead of 1, I think it's point something. Let's just check here. Go make sure I know what I'm talking about here. See, large pulse laser is 0.67, so it's a little bit quicker. It pinpoints the damage to where it is, and I like pulse laser a lot better. That's just me. Okay, so let's go back here. So that's the King Crab. It does have AC 20 cooldown plus 10%. Normally when I have this one, I actually run with a with either 6 AC 5s, or actually with 6 AC2s, and just make it into a walking pillbox and just unload everything I can into somebody, and it usually works out pretty well. Velocity, cooldown, and energy cooldown are not too bad. 15, 10, 10. It's okay. It's there. And the torso turn rate is 25%. The 0000. So let's go over this one here. So it does have 2 ballistic, 4 energy, 4 missile. This one, I have seen some LRM-15 builds on this one. It actually works out pretty well. Won a couple matches with just one guy with a bunch of LRM-15s, and then bunch of energy weapons, 4 large pulse lasers, and then also has 2 machine guns on there as well, because he needs the tonnage for everything else, and does work out pretty well. Missile velocity is 10 and 15% for missile cooldown. Put a module on there, 25%, so it goes a little bit quicker. The cooldown for energy is 20, and duration is 15. So if you're going to build a laser vomit mech, let's see here, make sure I got this right. Yeah, if you're going to build a laser vomit mech, I would actually highly recommend the 0000 instead of anything else, just for a simple reason. You do have the energy cooldown at 20%, and then the laser duration 15. Then you can pop a module on there as well too. That actually works out pretty well. So let's go to the B here. Like I said, a lot of the weapons are actually going to be in the arm. So when you do torso twist, you will recognize that you will have or a lot of bigger weapons are inside the arms. You try to get them so they're in the torso. So basically, you have 3 large lasers or 3 large pulse lasers. They're going to be on top here, on the top part of the torso itself. They're going to be right about here, right up here. So that's one good thing. Let's see if I can get it there. Yeah, they'll be right there. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then you can pop up. It's one of the best mechs for peekaboo as far as a assault mech. So that's what you want to do as well. Let's see here. Okay, so the armor bonus torso turn rate 35%. Cooldowns is nice at 20%, so that's more of a laser vomit if you can. Thinking that it should be a missile mech, 10 and 15 is okay-ish. I don't know, but they're assault mechs, so that's kind of like works out that way. Okay, so let's go to the B000B. So this one, a little bit better than actually this one, because all your stuff is inside the arms. This one's not inside the arms. Let's get to the hard points here. So you got your 2 and then 2 and then 2, 2. So there we go, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. You got your armor, which has a quirk armor bonus of 17. You got your missiles be here, which would be very nice because then they actually launch above your mech, which is good. And then also you have your energy hard points on the top torso and top right torso, which you can peekaboo above the hilltop. So that's one of the better ones. The quirks are okay, 10% for everything except for ballistic velocity, 30%. So if you're going to use something like that, AC-20 might be a good build for that, because you will actually be going very, very quick on that. You'll hit a lot quicker, so that'll be a good thing. And you don't have to lead as much too, which is nice. Now the champion mech is the same thing as a B, so you just get an additional 30% XP bonus. So those are the two Innisphere mechs I do highly recommend. Like I said, this is my own personal preference, my own personal opinion. Other people do have other opinions about different mechs and say, hey, how come we didn't say the Battlemaster, stuff like that. It all depends on what you like to go play. So the honorable mention will be the Stalker. Let's go here, the Stalker here. Very nice mech. I've seen a lot of these actually being used. 5 energy, 5 missile. It is a really 6 energy, 4 missile, 6 energy, like 6 medium pulse lasers, and then a bunch of SRM6s. It's a very, very good mech to go and use. And the works aren't too bad, to tell you the truth. They're not the best in the world, but they are there. Excuse me, they're the 4N large lasers. Oh god, yeah. This one got nerfed for some reason. Back in the day, this used to be a meta mech, but now it large lasers had larger range, cooldown, and heat generation. So actually, a lot of people use this, and then range, cooldown, and heat generation. A lot of people use this as with 6 large lasers, 3 on 3 and 3 mounts, because they actually do come in 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, the mounts are actually a lot in the arm, so 2, 2, 1, 1, and they use this as a peekaboo mech, but they nerfed this a little bit. I don't know what they did to it, but if you do know what they did to this mech, to Stalker 4, and let me know down in the notes below, and then I'll be able to get to that on another one. 6-4 large pulse lasers, very, very nice. Energy, range, duration. So this is the other mech that I have seen a lot of people use. It's very, very nice. It's pretty cool. And if you actually have this type of mech here, awesome looking design. I've seen this before. Beautiful paint job. I mean, just beat up to hell, but with the little tiger face there. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so those are my Innisphere mechs that I think, as a new player, my own personal preference, the Atlas and the King Crab, with honorable mention for the Stalker itself. You could go with the other ones, the Battlemaster, Banshee, the Awesome, the Highlander. I do have a Highlander, which is kind of cool. I like, unfortunately though, they don't have Death from Above, which is a Highlander, which is what they were iconically done as a 90-ton mech in the normal Battletech board game, which I used a lot. I mean, 90 tons, that's 18 points of damage to the top part on a D6. If you guys know what I'm talking about, cookies for you. So, pretty cool looking mechs. The Highlanders, I actually got mine with a plaid paint job. It looks pretty nice. The Mauler is another DACA mech, which is very, very nice. If you can get this DACA mech with, I think one has 6. Let's see here. Yep, 6 ballistic hard points with AC2s. Just go to town on this one. Stalker the Victor. Same thing with the Victor as a Highlander. They were actually, this is actually from Hans Victor, not Hans Victor, but actually from the Steiner. And basically, it was developed for the Innisphere from Steiner, one of the iconic mechs that they do have. Steiner usually had a lot of different assault mechs. That's what they actually iconically done. Davion had more of RCT, regimental combat teams, which are light, mediums, and then a bunch of tanks and like everything else. But the Victor is another mech that's out there that's pretty good too. And then the Zeus, obviously a pretty good design, halfway decent. The trial mech for the Zeus is actually really, really good. So if you do use an assault mech and need to actually get something done, use a trial mech for that. Okay, so let's go to clans. The clans were a lot harder to actually go ahead and pick from because they don't have a lot, but what they do have is absolutely amazing. So that was a problem I had with the clans, actually picking the ones that I personally think are actually good mechs that you should go purchase as a first-time buyer. So let's go with the clans here. The first and obviously one is the Kodiak. Beautiful mech. Seeing these, now they will get hit with the Nerf bat pretty soon, so watch out on that. When you do purchase one, recognize it will get hit by the Nerf bat. They have been talking about that. So, and the Nerf bat just means they're going to go ahead and reduce something about it or fix it or make it not as cooler as what it is now, because almost everyone uses a Kodiak 3 with all the different, I love this thing with 4 LB10Xs. I get my bonuses, I get a lot of damage. I average about 600 damage with this mech itself, the Kodiak 3. So let's go through the Kodiak one. The coolest thing about the Kodiaks, like the Innisphere mechs, sorry about that, is that it does not have doesn't have the omnipod, so it's not an omni mech, and that's a great thing. So you could, like an interest for mech, change out your engine sizes, change out your weapons, you could change out this stuff here, your upgrades, whatever you want to do, you can do for it. And that's the greatest thing about this mech. And plus, it could soak up a lot of damage too, and dish it out like crazy. I mean, what they have for the standard mechs, 20 and 30 points of damage, yeah, you're gonna reduce that down. That's what's gonna happen. But the Kodiak one, it does have 1 ballistic, 9 energy, 2 missile, 1 AMS. So a lot of times I do run this. Unfortunately, the good points and bad points is good points, 9 energy, bad points, they're all in the arms, which kind of blows. That's the only thing about this mech I do not like, is everything's inside the arms except for ballistics, and then the 2 clan streak SRM6s. So that's a bad point about it. So bad point, good point, 100 tons, very, very nice mech. Kodiak 2, 1 ballistic, 6 energy, 1 missile. Same thing as before, unfortunately, is that the energy is in the arms. So you're looking at, when you have your torso twist, you will kind of pick a side, whichever one you want to have, and that's a problem. And then it does have the clan streaks, and then the ballistics, and then the AMS. Normally a lot of people don't use like AMS like for it. At least I don't. Then the Kodiak 3, beautiful, beautiful mech. For a simple reason is that you can use your arms as shields, which is one of the greatest aspects about this. Normally everyone goes with, here we go, I'll show you here, goes with either, let me get the ballistic here. What do I do? Okay, so normally it goes with Clan Ultra 10 and then Clan Ultra 5. That way you have a constant rate of fire. I gotta take this out here in a second. Clan Ultra 5, constant rate of fire, and you have a lot of, I have this as one of mine, a lot of damage you can dish out like crazy, and usually I do not run out of ammo. I usually kill everything beforehand, and then I use the arms as shields when I go in torso twist. That way it saves my torso. That's what you got to do, and that usually helps me out. But this mech, all the different ballistic hard points are actually in the torsos, so when you actually go ahead and protect yourself, just torso twist and use your arms as shields, and that usually works out pretty well. I mean, the Kodiak 3, you obviously see nowadays this mech being used like crazy. And as a 100-ton mech, the quirks kind of suck. I mean, it gives some extra structure bonus, but that's about it. And then the other ones, structure bonus. This one gives a little bit of turn race, which is kind of nice, and then acceleration, deceleration. I had to give something to this one here. And let's go to Kodiak 4. Kodiak 4 is more 4 energy, 2 ballistic, 2 missiles, so you could probably, I don't know, 2 LB-20Xs, drop the missiles down to SRM-6s, and then you have 4 ER medium lasers, kind of be nice combo. Turn rate is good, and the acceleration at least is something that's 15%. And then the structures and everything else too. So the Kodiak 5, you're looking at, unfortunately, 11 energy, 1 ballistic. So let's go check out where the hard points are for that. Here we go. So all in arms, as you can tell. So let's go here. You have 5 in each arm and then 1 in the center torso, which is kind of nice because you actually put something bigger here in the center torso. Like, I'd probably recommend doing like PPCs or something if you can. No, you can actually. Yeah. Get 2 slots. Yeah. Like PPC, do, I don't know, 4 PPCs and do 5 there. But you have to make sure you control your firepower. Like I said, the problem with it is that all your firepower is in the arms. But you know, take that chance. You never know what's going to happen. Never know what's going to happen on that one. Come on. And then we go to the Spirit Bearer, which, I mean, the paint job itself is actually worth the money. I mean, that's beautiful. You change it out to anything you want, like black and blue or like whatever you want to do. Here, hard points 1, 2, 4. So more of a SR, more of a brawler, I would say. If I could actually do anything like with this, if I had this one, I don't have this one. I have the first 3. But if I could do a thing like with this one, it actually be definitely going to be SRM-6s or even SRM Streak 6s. Be nice. And then the 2 energy and 1 ballistic. So pretty nice looking mech. I mean, just the mech itself is gorgeous. Okay, so let's go to my second one is the Warhawk. Now this one, a lot different. As far as like the picking wise, I either went with the Direwolf or Warhawk. So it was hard. It was a hard choice, but the one thing that actually made me pick the Warhawk a little bit more than actually the Direwolf is just the quirks themselves. Better quirks for the being an intersphere person. I like quirks, but as far as the clan goes, a little bit better than the Direwolf is the Warhawk. just for the quirks. That's the reason why I actually picked it between the two. That's my own personal opinion. So you guys have your own stuff. Put them down in the link in the chat below. Then you go with the direwolf, which, I mean, come on, it looks pretty cool though. It looks pretty cool, but I went with the Warhawk instead, just for a simple reason, is the quirks themselves. So let's go to the Warhawk itself. Now, since these are Mechs, you can change them out. So one of the things, you could change out all different stuff that's in the omnipods. So if we want to change out the prime, which is right here, you can make it into right torso, which has this here, arm movement. You could do missiles. You want to do missile boat, which is kind of nice, gives you an extra internal structure bonus. And then this one as well, missile velocity, alarm spread. So let's I just want to curious here. Right torso for that one, and then let's go for left torso. There's nothing here, so let's see here. You can actually, that's a great thing about omnipods. You find out what you want to do for your mech and just figure out what you want to do. Structure bonus 18, so that's kind of nice. But this one gives you an additional, the spread and the missile velocity a little bit more, which is beautiful. And then if you want to go for the right arm too, it does have the bonuses, ERPPC velocities, 21 structure bonus for 14, and then you can go with the missiles, which has a that's kind of cool, a ballistic. You can go with the prime, which has just the ERPPCs. So it just all depends what you want to do for the mech. That's the greatest thing about omnipods, is you can really design different things you want to do for them. The only problem is you're kind of stuck on your upgrades and stuck where how big your engine is and what you can put in the legs themselves. But I mean, all in all though, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So you change it out, but unfortunately you're not be able to do much on that because it has fixed armor slots. So your inability to do things is the bad point, but you're able to mix and match and do different things that you want to go and do. I mean, you're looking at the left arm. Let's see, cooldown 5%, and then the right arm, you have a ERPPC. I know there's a ballistic one here somewhere. I think it's right here. Yeah, so basically you get additional ballistic cooldown of 5% if you want to. AC velocity 10%. That's the reason why I actually picked the Warhawk instead of direwolf. So that's the reasons why I did that. It's just for a simple fact you can actually change out a bunch of different things on these mechs. Now, just as far as hardpoint wise, they're not as good as the direwolf, because you're looking at on the top portion, which is nice. It's beautiful, but you're looking at just the quirks actually what maybe go with the Warhawk instead of direwolf. So that's the reason why I did those kind of stuff. So let's go back to the Warhawk. Aim its range and everything else, 10% 5. The quirks for this one 1, 2, 2. But like I said, you could switch them out, switch, mix, match, whatever you want to do for those. But do know when you do those is that you're going to lose. If you don't use the prime variant like of these, you're going to lose the acceleration rate, deceleration rate, and then XP bonuses. So you're going to lose those, but you're gaining all this other stuff that when you want to go ahead and change out different things. So it just depends what you want to do. That's great. Like I said, that's the greatest thing about OmniMechs. Beautiful, well done. It does have the top top mounted missile right there. It's kind of nice. We're looking at this one. Most of the stuff is inside the arms and the torso, so you got to watch out on that when you do torso twisting. And this one, the XP bonus of the C, 30% compared to this one is the same thing, but you get an XP bonus, which is nice. Okay, so the other the honorable mention for the clans would be obviously the direwolf. I've seen these a lot on the battlefield, so just to let you know on these are pretty good mechs in themselves. I mean, as you can see, a lot of stuff is actually mounted in the torsos, like all the different, like probably the S is probably one of the better ones with 6 energy. A lot of it's mounted in the torso instead of the arms, which is good. Same thing with the ballistics on this one. But like I said, the only reason why I picked the direwolf or the Warhawk compared to direwolf, just the quirks themselves. Let's go here. I'm gonna check out something here. I mean, beautiful mechs. I mean, these mechs are monsters on the battlefield. That's a problem. Yeah, see. Right torso, you don't get much, fortunately. XP bonuses like everything else. But, you know, for clans, you're not looking for that, though. That's the whole thing, too. Clans are pretty much, they're the easy button. I'm going to get hell for that one. But basically, like, you have a lot of different things you go and use. And basically, you don't need the quirks. But, like I said, the quirks for the Warhawk are better. So, anyways, I do appreciate you watching. Oh, yeah, the honorable mention will be the Direwolf. Kodiak. Okay, so let's go over this. The Inner Sphere is the Atlas and the King Crab. Definitely good mechs to have for the Inner Sphere. They are expensive, so watch out when you do buy them. If you can, try to get them when they're on sale for 50% off. It does help, obviously. And then the King Crab, same thing as well. Pretty expensive. You get them for 5 or 6,000 or 5 or 6 million when they do go on sale. And the honorable mention is the Stalker. Pretty good mech as well. If you guys know anything about the 4N, let me know, or the 5S about it being switched out for the Nerf bat, let me know too. I'm not too keen on that one. And then the clans, obviously, is a very, very hard pick. Obviously the first one is the Kodiak. Beautiful, beautiful mech. Well done. The Kodiak 3. Oh my God! If you get this one, you will never, never do anything else again. And then the Warhawk and honorable mention will be the Direwolf. So I do appreciate you watching, and this wraps up episode 4 of Assault Mechs. I plan to do a lot of different things, so just check back later. Subscribe if you guys can. Might do the champions and the heroes, just all depends. I got to go and mess around with them and have some fun with them. But and purchase a lot of them. I'm gonna hopefully convince the wife if I can. I don't know, hopefully. But anyways, you guys have a good night, and I will see you on the battlefield.